Earlier today, AJ Lee met with the WWE Board of Directors for several hours, and the subject matter of that meeting was AJ's tenure as the general manager of Monday Night Raw. So here to tell you the results of that meeting in her own words, AJ.
Because of allegations of my fraternizing with a superstar on the roster, I am hereby resigning as general manager of Raw. And I just want to say that these allegations are completely false. But I understand that I could have been fired a long time ago. I could have been fired when I attacked Vicky or attacked Paul Heyman, or for a lot of the decisions I've made that have been deemed unfair. And that's why when I was asked to resign, I agreed. And I know that some of my decisions may have been unorthodox, or some people may consider me mentally unstable, but I think some people like a crazy chick. And I want to thank you, Vince, for giving me an opportunity that no one else would have ever given me. Thank you.
Well, allow me to introduce you to this person who is not the general manager. This person is not the interim general manager. This person is the managing supervisor of Monday Night Raw, Vicky Guerrero.
Do that. Watch me. Because what I'm going to do next, you're not going to like either. Oh. Tonight's main event will be the largest lumberjack match in the history of Monday Night Raw. I knew this all along, that you were not right for this job. Your immaturity and your little girl dress clothes is not for a role of authority. Because I am a woman that is mature, wise, and I have the experience to run Monday Night Raw. That is why the directors believe in me to be the managing, soon to be the general manager. And these allegations, wait, hold on, wait, you know what the allegations are? Let's hear the allegations. Your allegations are not only fraternizing, they're not only fraternizing with a talent, you had an affair, and you disgust me.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, oh yeah.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Really? Yeah!
Hello and welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, all by myself, as the Eric Carmen song from the 70s was. No Bill Melody in the house today, so I'm kind of doing it all. I'm personally taking your phone calls as well as talking with you about everything going on in WWE TNA. Of course, we've got the big Hell in a Cell pay-per-view coming up tomorrow. A lot of question marks leading into that. Some further developments for TNA Turning Point coming up only in a couple of weeks. And as you heard in the opener, I almost feel like I'm a bit of a jinx, although I'm not going to take the blame for it. AJ, only a couple weeks after being interviewed right on this program, out as general manager, and now we've got a managing supervisor in the form of Vicky Guerrero. And I should have left them in, but the vehement booing as a reaction to Vicky. I don't know if that was necessarily hatred for Vicky or if it was another, oh, here we go again with Vicky Guerrero as an authority figure. And I don't know, the whole allegations of fraternizing, isn't that kind of what Vicky Guerrero had been doing, A, with Dolph Ziggler for a while, and B, well, we know about her past with Edge, so I don't know how that would make her more qualified than AJ would. But I don't know, there are a lot of thoughts regarding that. Some other interesting news that actually just came up a couple of minutes ago. Actually, John reporting that on the WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook page. Reported by WWE.com. Lillian Garcia, of course, the longtime announcer for the WWE, currently does the announcing for the SmackDown shows. She is in stable condition after being struck by a car in Los Angeles. We'll have more on that story as it develops, as of course it just was breaking news. But we've got more on that coming up over the course of the hour. We've also got some, as we get closer to Election Day, some more election news regarding Lyndon McMahon. Chris Jericho explaining why he's not with WWE at the moment, and a little bit more on this Vicky Guerrero feud as it continues on Twitter. Plus, WWE is making a Christmas movie. A whole bunch to get to in this hour. Plus, we've got room for your calls as well. More on this breaking story, though. Lillian Garcia, stable condition after being struck by a car in Los Angeles. Garcia suffering multiple concussions and lacerations on the left side of her body. She is expected to make a full recovery. Doctors have immobilized Garcia's neck and will be keeping her hospitalized overnight to monitor her. This coming from WWE.com. Lillian Garcia being struck by a car in Los Angeles yesterday afternoon. And WWE.com will have more updates on this developing story. Thank you to John for putting that up on the Facebook fan page. Let's go ahead and get to the phones. I know there's a lot that's definitely been expressed over the course of Facebook. We'll get to some of that Facebook feedback over the course of the hour. And let's see if I can push the buttons as well as talk here at the same time. Let's go ahead and get to Dan, who's been waiting patiently from Chicago. Dan, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Well, what a bad week in wrestling, in my opinion, Fearon.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Well, okay, it hasn't exactly been great, but, I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm sugarcoating it a little bit too much.
Yeah, you are. You're trying to be too nice.
It's that professionalism in me, and I guess maybe that optimist in me, trying to look on some semblance of the bright side. Well, true. We've got plenty of unprofessionalism in other circuits. But, all right, but in as respectful a manner as you can, go ahead and what didn't you like about various things going on? Because obviously I know that's the trend we're going here.
Didn't Vince McMahon hear the collective boos in the ring when Vicky Guerrero was announced this stupid title?
Yeah, I would hope so. Even at his age, I would think that his hearing hasn't dipped that much over the years that he would have noticed it. And I think Jim Ross was playing a little bit into that, as I believe 4 different times over the course of Raw did Jim Ross mention that it's only temporary. So I think they have something in the works to fill in on a more permanent basis, and I think this is just a stopgap. There have been a lot of rumors thrown out there, and whether or not they're substantiated, whether or not there's some legalities that have to be taken care of, if that's the case. I mean, this could totally be a red herring, but a lot of people are thinking, I'll throw this out there just because people have been talking about it anyway, with Raw being in Charlotte, North Carolina this Monday.
Oh, okay, it is in North Carolina, okay.
Yeah, it is in Charlotte, North Carolina. There of course have been rumors running rampant, and rumors and wrestling go together like peanut butter and jelly, like bacon and eggs. But the rumor is that WWE is going to be bringing in Ric Flair to be the semi-permanent authority figure for the for the Raw television show on Monday nights.
Well, just for Monday night, okay, because I don't know if you got my Facebook page thing about how there's a problem. There's a lawsuit pending with WWE and TNA that WWE may shy away from that right now because of the lawsuit.
Well, that's what a lot of people are thinking. I believe it was either Wrestling Insider or gosh, I'm trying to get my sources right here. I'll follow up on that in a little bit, but the one who had broken this story had noted that WWE was initially allegedly looking to oust AJ as general manager months ago and bring Flair in, but this lawsuit kind of put the kibosh on that because, I mean, the lawsuit, TNA is pretty much accusing WWE of keeping tabs on their talent when their contracts are expiring, so they can pretty much snatch up the talent once that contract expires. So it's almost like tampering with the talent in a sense to try to lure them over to the other company. So because of that lawsuit that is still going on, WWE has been hesitant to bring over anybody whose contract may have expired from TNA. I know Matt Morgan was in limbo for a little while. Devon was in limbo for a little while. Ric Flair continues to be in limbo, even though if you look on TNA's roster page on their website, they still have Ric Flair listed as an active member of the roster, even though we haven't seen him on camera in, 4, 5, 6 months, something like that?
Now, did you say this was going to be a permanent thing with him being GM, or just for Monday?
Well, this is all speculation. I mean, people are talking about it. He may not show up at all. So but again, this is the rumor that's going around, and I figure because it has enough legs, it's worth at least talking about. It's worth at least speculating. But we could be chasing a paper tiger. It could be absolutely nothing. Okay.
And did anybody notice the awkward blooper on Impact on Monday?
Well, if you didn't, I actually have it. I will air it right here on the program a little bit later, and that's actually going to lead to a discussion that I want to have next week as far as your favorite all-time wrestling bloopers, and I'm going to have a little bit of a montage thrown together next week
and
of
I know people don't like
some of my noted ones.
Saying on where I got this from, but my wife actually is the one who got it first.
Yeah,
go back on the DVR and look at it. It was funny.
Yeah, the visual is interesting enough, but I mean, the audio definitely gives you enough of the picture, and then the video can fill in the rest of the picture.
When they were sort of communicating. You saw Austin Aries and Ken Anderson kind of talking after that.
Yeah, there were a few things going on with that, and I'll go ahead and set that up a little bit later, and that'll also be a good time for others to call in as I'm both manning the phones as well as I'm doing everything. I'm pushing all the buttons. Wild Bill Melody, he's a little under the weather, not with us today, so I'm flying solo here. Flying solo in the radio Hell in a Cell that is WBCB. Well, no, it's not really Hell in a Cell. It's, I don't know. I was trying to make some sort of a comparison there, and it didn't quite work out. Not meant any kind of insult to anyone here at WBCB. I obviously love it here and have for the last, 4+ years that I've been here now.
One last thing, and I'll let you go.
Go ahead.
Did WWE take this whole fraternizing thing from TNA with the whole Dixie Carter AJ Styles situation to throw it into another AJ and John Cena situation?
I hope not, but it obviously doesn't have a whole lot of legs, but they're certainly trying. And thanks so much for the call, Dan. I got to get rolling, but yeah, one of the things that's gone on, of course, the accusation of AJ fraternizing with John Cena. They had a business dinner a while ago, and that Guerrero and Cena feud continues on Twitter. Vicky Guerrero and John Cena trading barbs on Twitter earlier this week about the storyline affair between Cena and AJ. After calling Vicky out for not showing her supposed proof, Vicky promised to reveal it this coming Monday on Raw. So we'll see what kind of proof it is, whether it's kind of like how, going back about 20 years now, Flair said that he had proof of pictures with him and Miss Elizabeth, and it turns out that those happened to be doctored because there wasn't such a thing, to my knowledge, as Photoshop 20 years ago, but they were essentially Photoshop pictures of Flair. Do they have something similar in that regard? I guess we'll have to find out. Anyway, let me get you to a little bit of a clip going back to Raw. As you had heard, Vicky Guerrero setting up a match for later in the night between Sheamus and CM Punk, a champion versus champion match, and they had billed it as the biggest lumberjack match in WWE history, which is kind of a bit of hyperbole, but at the same time, the fact that you have more lumberjacks outside the ring, I don't know what, I mean, other than, I guess, creating a larger human shield to keep people at bay, what other big selling point is there? But regardless, 30 men outside the ring to keep Punk and Sheamus inside the ring, and here is the end of the CM Punk and Sheamus match from Raw.
Sheamus back in control. of this physical bar-like fight. And that move, the white noise, sets up the bro kick. And Sheamus is calling for it. And here comes Cesaro. United States champion trying to intervene. Bro kicked it into the hall. My God, what a kick. And oh, look out, Big Show. Big Show. Big Show. Choke slam to Sheamus. One-arm choke slam by the Big Show. He walks away with a smile. Punk is going to reap the reward. CM Punk wins it. Oh, my God, there he is. The monster, Ryback. And he's making a beeline for the man he faces Sunday inside the cell. CM Punk, and CM Punk trying to run away. Lumberjack sent him back into the ring. Ryback with Punk. Backbreaker. Look at the power. Ryback. Bloody power slam. A merciless emissary of pain is Ryback. CM Punk trying to retreat. Nowhere to go. Much like Sunday inside the cell, there'll be nowhere to go. Oh my God. Wow. Jeez. The power. Punk's body racked on the canvas. And CM Punk again trying to retreat. Lumberjacks won't let the champion go. Ryback is feasting on the WWE champion. Look at the power. Look at the strength. Down goes Punk and the rest of the Lumberjacks. What's going to be left of CM Punk this Sunday in Atlanta? Inside Hell in a Cell with his WWE titles at stake against Ryback's undefeated streak. Ryback's a freak. Ryback standing tall. What a man, Ryback. A powerhouse. A two-story house with a basement. This is a freak of nature. Punk tried to run tonight, but there's no running Sunday. He'll be locked inside Hell in a Cell with the monster Ryback. Feed Ryback more. CM Punk. What are we going to do?
And will Ryback be fed the WWE Championship tomorrow night at Hell in a Cell? I've got my predictions certain to go wrong coming up a little bit later in the program. We've also got time for you as well over the phones, 215-949-3232 or toll free at 888-922-2149. Fearon Derry here with you. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.